Chapter 36 of The Clue of the New Pin by Edgar Wallace. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Read by Yoganand. The Clue of the New Pin. Chapter 36. We must warn Miss Artful at once. I've been on the telephone with her this evening. I was inquiring about you, and the chances are that I so thoroughly alarmed her that she is awake. I only hope to God she is, said Carver. But whilst it was easy earlier in the evening to get into touch with Hartford 906, it was now impossible. The Hartford operator, after the second attempt, signalled through that there was an interruption. Carver came back to Mr. Stought's dining room with a grave face. They could speak without interruption because Mrs. Stout and the errant Aline had disappeared. Mr. Stout, his hands clasped across his stomach, was fast asleep in a chair, a touch of a smile on his lips. Probably he was dreaming of his heroic and heart-biting ancestors. Tab, said Carver, you know Stone Cottage? Have you any recollection of the telephone arrangements? Is it a dead-end connection, or is it connected from the road? I think it's from the road, said Tab. The wire runs by the house, and the connection crosses the garden. I remember, because Ursula said how unsightly it was. Carver nodded. Then he is there, he said, and the wire has been cut. I'll get the nearest police station and see what we can do, he said. In the meantime, we'll find somebody with a car. Make a few quick inquiries, Tab. Tab's inquiries were particularly fortunate. In the very next house was a young man whose joy in life was to exceed all speed limits on his sporting spans, and he accepted the commission which would enable him to break the laws with the approval of the police with alacrity and enthusiasm. When Tab returned, the inspector was waiting at the garden gate. Is that the car? He said. Our friend knows the way? I could find it blindfold, said the amateur chauffeur. It was a wild ride. Even Tab, who treated all speed regulations with scorn, admitted that the driver erred on the side of recklessness. They spun through rain that stung and smarted like needles, that fell so fast that the two powerful lamps created fantastic nebulae and halos in the darkness ahead. They skidded round greasy corners, thundered along narrow roads. Once Tab could have sworn he glimpsed a black car drawn up under a hedge. They passed before he could be sure. The garden gate was open when Tab leapt out from his precarious seat. As he came through the gate, a dangling wire struck him across the face. There was no need to look for evidence of a visitor. The door was opened wide. His heart was beating thunderously as he stood in the quiet hall, where the only sound that came to him was the sober ticking of a clock. He struck a match and lit one of the candles that he knew Ursula kept ready on a side table. By its faint light, he saw that a chair in the hall had been overturned and lay on the carpet, which had been dragged up as though in a struggle. He held on to the wall for support. I'll go alone, he whispered hoarsely and went up the stairs slowly. Every movement required an effort. On the landing above, a dim night light burnt. It was a broad landing, carpeted with a square blue carpet, and there were 2 easy chairs and a small table nest. Ursula had told him she sometimes read there, for there was a skylight overhead which could be opened on hot days. Here again the carpet was in disorder, and on the blue settee, he bit his lip to stop the cry that came. Blood! A great patch near one end. He touched it frightfully and looked at the tips of his fingers. Blood! His knees gave way under him, and he sat down for a second, then with a tremendous effort rose again and went to the door of Ursula's room and turned the knob. Shading the candle with his hands, he walked into the room. A figure was lying on the bed. The brown hair lay fan-like across the pillow. The face was turned away from him. And then his heart stood still. Who's that? Said a sleepy voice. Ursula turned on her elbow, shading her eyes from the light of the candle. Ursula, he breathed. Why, it's Tab. He caught a glitter of steel as she thrust something back under the pillow that she had half withdrawn. Tab, she sat up in bed. Why, Tab, what is wrong? The candlestick was shaking in his hand. He put it down on the table. What is wrong, dear? She asked. He could not answer. Falling to his knees by the bedside, he trembled his relief into the crook of his arm. The end of chapter 36.